When you think about Japanese food, you often think about ramen and sushi. And yes, they are absolutely delicious. But this pasta dish I tried in Kyoto, Japan has totally blown me away and easily became the best pasta I've ever had. What are the differences between the Japanese pasta and authentic Italian pasta? And why does it taste so damn good? This pasta has its own unique character and is a perfect example of East meets West at its finest. This time in Japan, I've tried a lot of delicious food, ranging from traditional dishes to those with foreign influences, and discovered the history and evolution of Japanese cuisine. So, let's dive in. Let me put it simply. This pasta and authentic Italian pasta don't taste alike, but that's why it tastes so good. No restriction regarding ingredients, sauces, or how al dente the pasta should be. Just a pure craftsmanship dedicated to a great taste and fine texture. The pasta came on a tray along with 3 side dishes and 1 soup. You only see this type of serving style in Japan as it reflects the foundation of Japanese cuisine, which is called washoku. We have kombucha soup here. Very tasty, pretty light and smooth, but not creamy compared to the usual pumpkin soup you have in the West. We have a side dish containing chicken and some pickles, and a salad with fresh leafy vegetables, and a piece of bread. The bread tastes very different from what you are familiar with. It is super soft and smooth because it wasn't baked, it was steamed. This doesn't surprise me, as if you ever try Asian baking, you will notice that most of them are typically soft and smooth and slightly sweet. The bread usually suits Japanese preferences, and to be honest, I love it. The serving style is called ichiju sansai. Ichiju means 1 soup and sansai means 3 dishes. It is a traditional Japanese dining format that reflects the aesthetic and nutritional principles of Japanese meals. Most people tend to associate Japanese food with ramen and sushi, but ichiju sansai is how meals are typically served in Japanese household. Although the pasta dish I had didn't follow the pattern in a traditional way, you can see how this format has deeply influenced it. In order to experience it in a more traditional way, I went to a breakfast place that served ichiju sansai Japanese-style breakfast. A typical ichiju sansai consists of 4 elements: rice, soup, 1 main 3 sides, and pickled vegetables. Traditionally, white rice is served, and I love that they put some carbs here to add a bit of umami flavor. The rice alone is already pretty satisfying. Japanese rice is soft and sticky, and has a subtly sweet and nutty flavor. Rice is served in its own bowl, and other items have their own spot so they don't mix with each other. The Japanese style traditionally abhorred different flavored dishes touching each other or placing on top of rice. This practice is originating from China, and Japan has been maintained and developed since ancient times. Soup is usually miso soup that contains vegetable or tofu. The taste isn't very different from those you have in your regular Japanese restaurant, except the taste is richer and contains more ingredients. From the left to the right, the first 1 item is pickled vegetables, beautifully presented and carefully selected. Looks like there is radish, Chinese cabbage, cucumbers. Now we have our 3 dishes. The 3 dishes include a main dish and 2 small side dishes. Originally, the 3 dishes of ichiju sansai were not divided into 1 main and 2 sides, but rather categorized by the way the dishes were cooked. So you're gonna have 1 stew dish, 1 raw dish, and 1 fried or grilled dish. This tradition isn't strictly followed today, but you can still see my main dish here, which is the fish of the day, a lightly grilled cod. The first side dish is a little poutine, looks like tofu but tastes like egg. The other one here tastes like raw radish, and I love this colorful condiments on top of it, giving a little spice kick. And let me tell you, all these carefully selected dishes not only taste absolutely amazing, but are also fresh, healthy, and aesthetically pleasing. The rationale behind the selections align with the season and nature cycles, prioritizing ingredients at their peak freshness and flavor. Each component provides essential nutrients, flavors, and textures, aiming to harmonize without overindulgence. Its balanced nutritional approach and the small portion reflects the philosophy of just enough, which is the core of Japanese cuisine, emphasizing a harmonious and mindful way of eating. The philosophy is so profound that even pasta, a Western food influence has embraced it. Yusoku refers to Western food, but more accurately, it's part of Japanese cuisine inspired by Western ingredients and cooking method. It is Japanese European dishes, often featuring Western names, but reinvented to suit local preferences. It's not just the taste, but also the utensils, as you use chopsticks and a spoon for yusoku, no exception. This cod roe pasta here is a great example of yoshoku because I was given chopsticks for my pasta. It actually has a specific name, tarraco spaghetti. It doesn't resemble the pasta dish I've had in the States or in Italy, nor does it taste like a stereotypical Japanese cuisine. But I think that's the beauty of it and the reason why it tastes so wonderful and delightful. It is rich in umami flavors, creamy, smooth, and bursting with flavor. The spaghetti isn't al dente, which caters to most Asian preferences, but is still pleasantly chewy. I would call it the perfect fusion, and I felt so much joy savoring this wonderful dish. Yoshoku's origins date back to the Meiji period, when the Meiji Emperor ended the national seclusion, rapidly industrialized and adopted Western ideas, including culinary customs and eating habits. This political event, known as the Meiji Restoration, not only grew Japan into one of the world powers but also led to the creation of yoshoku. Traditionally, eating meat was prohibited due to the influence of Buddhism, but fish still served as the main protein for those who can afford it. Those who cannot afford it were forced to be vegetarian. As part of the reforms, the emperor lifted a ban on red meat and promoted Western cuisine, which was seen as the reason why Westerners looked stronger. In the beginning, only the nobles and elites were able to consume Western food, but soon they found out that they didn't quite like it. So Japanese chefs began experimenting with Western ingredients and techniques, blending with traditional Japanese cooking style. That was how yoshoku was created. You don't really find tarraco spaghetti here in the West, probably because the authenticity of pasta has already been very strong in Europe and North America. But you should have heard of Japanese curry and tonkatsu, which is served frequently in Japanese restaurants. Curry was introduced to Japan by the British in the 1870s, arriving as curry powder rather than the way it is traditionally made in India. Japanese curry tastes a lot milder than curries from other regions. You don't really taste the strong spice flavor like those in Indian or Thai curries, but instead, it's milder, stickier, and has a subtle sweetness. The reason that spices were used at a minimal level was that Japanese palates isn't used to spices due to the lack of meat products. So as a result, you also don't see Japanese cuisine using spices. The curry is served with the sticky Japanese rice. The flavors and textures often give you a warm and satisfying feeling rather than an intense and exciting sensation like curries from other regions. I previously made a video about the history of curry powder, so you should check it out if you're interested in knowing more about how curry became curry powder and how it made its way to Japan from India through the British. Tonkatsu is a yummy, comforting deep-fried pork cutlet that has received many loves from Japanese people. It is a Japanese dish, but it's rooted in shinizo, a breaded, deep-fried cutlet of meat that is a staple in Central European cuisine. The dish was introduced to Japan during Meiji time, and once again, it was reinvented to suit the Japanese palate. Having tried tonkatsu in Japan and shinizo in Austria and Germany, I can tell a lot of differences between shinizo and tonkatsu. But the most common thing is that they are both super delicious and have their own characters. Pork means ton, and Japanese don't pronounce katsu as katsu. They pronounce it as katsu. And right now I think you can actually find a similarity between katsu and cutlets. So tonkatsu literally just means pork cutlets. The dish is typically served with shred cabbage, rice, miso soup. It pairs with Worcestershire sauce. Some restaurants have the sauce house-made, and here you can make your own sauce by mixing it with white sesame. We've seen how Western food has influenced Japanese cuisine 100 years ago. And now it is also common to see South Asian cuisine are getting popular in cities like Kyoto and Osaka. We've tried Nepalese food in Osaka. A lunch special includes butter naan, 2 small bowls of curry, and 1 salad. The food was once again remade to suit local preferences by minimizing the use of spices and making it a little bit more sweeter and softer. Experiencing and tasting yoshiku and South Asian cuisine here in Japan gives me the impression that Japan's tradition is so strong that all foreign foods will ultimately be Japanized and become part of Japanese cuisine. If you liked my video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for the next one. I hope to see you there soon. Bye now.